gang violence and other kind of violence.
Get away! I could be at work, at school, in my car, I can still get shot by the police, but I can get shot anywhere.
So it is what it is.
What's good, Shadow Realm? It's a Black Gen Z Mindset. Make sure you go ahead and like, comment, share, subscribe. Let's get into the video.
For the gunman to the Bronx, where the search is underway for the gunman in a double shooting.
Two young men were killed at the edge of Ferry Park in the Throgs Neck section. As Natalie Dudridge reports, police are investigating whether the shooting is connected to a car meetup.
A mother and sister arrived to the shooting scene too distraught to speak on camera.
So, as you guys know, these car meetups have been very dangerous across the country. I mean, we've seen them in San Francisco, we've seen them in LA, San Diego, Atlanta, pretty much any major democratically run city. And we see these car meetups, and many times they end deadly. And it's sad because you got people who are interested in vehicles, fast cars, whatnot, and they come to meet up, show their vehicles off. But a lot of times these events are centered around nefarious intent, a lot of gang activity going on, a lot of street money, a lot of street dudes out there, and it ultimately results in, you know, you have a large event, a large gathering in the hood, the Bronx, pretty much the hood of New York. And I mean, it's a very mixed racial demographic. You got a lot of Hispanic, a lot of Black, Puerto Rican in the Bronx, but it's still pretty hot out there. And then we had the Manhattan shooting that we covered on this channel. So New York is definitely getting hit with its own violent epidemic, I would say. And at the end of the day, you got these large unsanctioned gatherings. They're unregulated, no security. When you throw these events, you don't know who can show up. And a lot of times rival gangs will show up. It may not be the whole gang, but it might be a few people from each individual gang. And that can cause problems. And I'm not saying that this dude or the people who were killed in this double shooting were involved in gang activity. But what I will say, though, is it could have played a role.
But told us their son and brother, 22-year-old Gabriel Alvarez, was one of two men killed in a shooting Monday around 5:30 in the morning on Schley Avenue. They say he recently moved from Connecticut to the Bronx, where he was working at a health clinic.
So this brother, it doesn't seem like he was connected to any gang since he moved from Connecticut to the Bronx. You know, very interesting choice to settle down at, right, to lay your head. I don't think the Bronx would be anybody's first choice out of the 5 boroughs. But nevertheless, this guy ended up settling in the Bronx, worked for a health clinic, trying to do the right thing, trying to help people out, goes to a car meetup. He's interested in cars, and boom, life taken just like that.
Police say multiple shots were fired, hitting 22-year-old Alvarez in the armpit and shoulder, and 29-year-old Adam Waldropt was shot in the stomach and buttocks. Both were rushed to Jacoby Medical Center, where they were pronounced dead.
Damn.
It happened right at the edge of Ferry Park, a place neighbors say is usually filled with families.
Right now, I'm scared because I never heard this before. I've been living in this Bronx for about 32 years.
I saw this and I'm like,
So I mean, I've done plenty of stories in the Bronx. I don't know how he's never heard of a shooting in the Bronx. So I mean, they were like cutting up people's bodies and leaving them on the street in the Bronx last year. So I don't know what this man talking about.
oh my God, it caught me by surprise. I didn't expect my first day coming out to the field to work out would be, 2 people killed.
Just before the shooting, surveillance video shows what city officials call a car meetup on Brush Avenue. Then dozens of people suddenly take off running.
What happened this morning at Ferry Park was absolutely heartbreaking and unacceptable here in District 13. There's no place for a double homicide within our community.
Police say they're looking for 2 men described as wearing ski masks, taking off from the scene on some type of moped or scooter.
Investigators recovered 13 shells.
So that very much seems targeted. You got them on a moped or a scooter. They pull up. They're looking for somebody specific. They hit their target and they peel out. It does seem targeted. I don't know if, you know, these 2 individuals were caught in the crossfire or they were actually the target. But, man, it just shows how dangerous New York has become.
Casings and 5 live rounds at the scene. So far, no arrests have been made. In the Throgs Neck section of the Bronx, Natalie Duddridge, CBS News, New York.
We turn now to news out of Throgs Neck, where police say that they're now searching for multiple suspects linked to a string of fatal shootings in the area. News 12's Aurora Folks takes us to the scene with that update.
Yesterday, Ferry Point Park was a crime scene. Bullet shell casings and police tape everywhere. Today, it's a candlelight vigil as the families of the late 21-year-old Adam Waldropt and the 22-year-old Gabriel Alvarez search for answers.
Anybody knows anything, please contact the police, because I want not, whoever did this to my son, they pay for it.
Police say they raced to 500 Brush Avenue at 6 a.m. yesterday, finding Waldropt with gunshot wounds to the stomach and butt, and his best friend Alvarez with a gunshot wound to the underarm and shoulder. This comes just 48 hours after a separate shooting last Saturday in the same location, leaving nearby park girls like Pablo and his father fearing for their lives.
He's scared right now if someone just comes and hit us with the guns.
In pursuit of suspects surrounding the shootings, police say they've narrowed their search down to the 7 suspects on your screen. We spoke with Gabriel's mother, Zareta, who says justice can't come soon enough.
I want justice for my son. No mother deserves to be crying for his son lost. Nobody.
Now, police say
So they do have 7 suspects. That's a very wide range. So we'll just have to see how this pans out. It looks like some burrito gremlin violence. And, you know, I don't know exactly what's going on. We don't have too much information, but we're seeing what's going on and we're paying attention and we're covering the story.
We need your help and are asking that anyone with any information at all to call the NYPD Crime Stoppers hotline at 1-800-577-TIPS or to leave a tip on their website. In Throgs Neck, Aurora Folks, News 12 the Bronx.
What's good, Shadow Realm? It's your boy Jenquavius Jackson, and y'all already know I'm demonetized and shadow banned in this bitch. So if you want to contribute, go to the Cash App, the PayPal, the GoFundMe, or join the Patreon. Also, don't forget to visit the merch store for all your favorite BGZM News 17 gear, including our exclusive Trump is a Blood t-shirt. Go fast before they sell out. They are already flying off the shelves, no cap. And remember, these super gremlins are on demon time.
We're following breaking news tonight out of Throgs Neck, where police have now identified the 2 men killed after a shootout right near Ferry Point Park. News 12's Jody Juliana Powell is back at the scene with the latest details tonight. Jody.
Those 2 men were 22-year-old Gabriel Alvarez and 21-year-old Adam Waldropt. Police tell us they were friends and knew each other. I got a chance to speak with Alvarez's family today, his mother and his sister, as they came to the crime scene to pick up his car that was left behind. This picture shows Gabriel with his sister and mother. His sister says the 22-year-old was born and raised in the Bronx and moved to Connecticut in recent years, but he still worked in the Bronx at Oak Street Health. As for Adam Waldropt, he lived in Parkchester. We went to his house, but his grieving family did not want to speak, with a no comment sign posted on the door. Around 5:30 this morning, police responded to reports of a shooting on Chuley Avenue in the parking lot next to Ferry Point Park. Alvarez was shot in his underarm and shoulder. Waldropt was shot in his stomach and butt. They both died at the hospital. This location is known as a late-night hangout spot. There's video from May when we reported on neighbors saying the noise keeps them up at night.
It's very popular on Saturdays and Sundays. During the week, it's fine. We have no trouble here during the week at all.
This shooting comes just 48 hours after another shooting at this same exact location. On Saturday, a 21-year-old man was shot in his torso, and he is expected to survive. Today's violence follows a press conference Mayor Adams had yesterday, saying the city's seeing the lowest number of shootings and homicide in recorded history.
These are just stats to some, but they're more than stats to us. Thousands of guns off our streets means thousands of lives, thousands of families protected from violence.
But the scattered shell casings along Shuley Avenue tell a different story, along with city data reporting a 50% increase in murders and shooting victims in this part of the borough. I spoke with this district's council member who says more action needs to be taken.
Well, there's been an increase in crime in this district year to date, absolutely, but we don't have the officers. We're down officers, we're down patrol at night, and we need to make sure that we get the officers with this graduating August class.
She says right now there's only 3 police cars covering the entire 45th precinct, and that's not enough for such a large area. As for this morning's shooting, police say it's still an active investigation as they search for 2 men who were wearing ski masks and that left the scene on a moped. From Throgs Neck, Jody Juliana, Powell, News 12, the Bronx.
To the Bronx, where the search is underway for the gunman in a double shooting.
2 young men were killed at the edge of Ferry Park in the Throgs Neck section. As Natalie Dudridge reports, police are investigating whether the shooting is connected to a car meetup.
A mother and sister arrived to the shooting scene too distraught to speak on camera, but told us their son and brother, 22-year-old Gabriel Alvarez, was one of 2 men killed in a shooting Monday around 5:30 in the morning on Schley Avenue. They say he recently moved from Connecticut to the Bronx, where he was working at a health clinic. Police say multiple shots were fired, hitting 22-year-old Alvarez in the armpit and shoulder, and 29-year-old Adam Waldropt was shot in the stomach and buttocks. Both were rushed to Jacoby Medical Center, where they were pronounced dead. It happened right at the edge of Ferry Park, a place neighbors say is usually filled with families.
Right now I'm scared because I never heard this before. I've been living in this Bronx for about 32 years.
I saw this and I'm like, oh my God. It caught me by surprise. I didn't expect my first day coming out to the field to work out would be, 2 people killed.
Just before the shooting, surveillance video shows what city officials call a car meetup on Brush Avenue. Then dozens of people suddenly take off running.
What happened this morning at Ferry Park was absolutely heartbreaking and unacceptable here in District 13. There's no place for a double homicide within our community.
Police say they're looking for 2 men described as wearing ski masks, taking off from the scene on some type of moped or scooter.
Investigators recovered 13 shell casings and 5 live rounds at the scene. So far, no arrests have been made. In the Throgs Neck section of the Bronx, Natalie Dudridge, CBS News, New York.
Police are investigating a number of violent incidents in the Bronx, including 3 separate ones near the Bronx Dominican Parade along the Grand Concourse. 3 people shot, another person stabbed.
And just hours after that, chaos, gunfire in Throgs Neck. 2 men were shot, 1 fatally. All of this happened in a parking lot. Eyewitness News reporter Darla Miles live this afternoon in Throgs Neck with more. Darla? David and Sandra, 2 men died overnight, a 21-year-old man, a 22-year-old man. Their names have not yet been released. But let me tell you about this remote area where we are right now. Just in front of me, behind the camera, that's the entrance ramp to the Throgs Neck Bridge. To my right is Ferry Park, and then behind me is an industrial area. This is an Optimum warehouse, for Optimum Cable Warehouse. And if you take a look at all of the evidence markers and debris, this is right now the active crime scene where we've seen a number of investigators out here this morning. Now, let me show you some exclusive surveillance video that we have just received within the last hour, where it appears as if there was a lot of street racing going on in the moments, in the minutes leading up to this deadly shooting overnight. You can see all of the cars, dozens of cars. You see people on mopeds popping wheelies. You see one of those street racing cars. I forget the name of it right now, but you see all of this activity in the pre-dawn hours, actually into the dawn hours, just leading up into the shooting. And then you see a number of people racing. Police tell us, if you look at the scene, the aftermath of this, when NYPD officers and investigators arrived to the scene around 5:30 this morning, they say a 22-year-old man was shot in the shoulder and abdomen, shot in the shoulder and torso. And then you also see a 21-year-old man who was shot in the back of the abdomen. Both of them were taken to Jacoby Hospital, where they were later, they were in critical condition, and sadly, they both died of their injuries at the scene. Again, this is in the parking lot just north of Ferry Park. We heard from Councilwoman Christy Memorotas of District 13 earlier this morning, who released a statement saying, what happened this morning at Ferry Park is heartbreaking and absolutely unacceptable. Whether you are a local resident or simply visiting, you deserve to feel safe. Again, I want to show you another live look at the scene. scene where we see all of this debris from where you saw all of that activity from the surveillance video. Lots of kids, teens. On the far end of this building, we saw a tree where it had been hit by one of the cars during some of the street racing. And right now it also appears that some family members have just arrived. We see two women who have just arrived. We're not going to show their faces right now, but they seem to be very emotional. They could perhaps be family members of the two men who died, but then this is still an ongoing investigation. Police are looking for two men who fled on a moped. The victims in this case, a 21-year-old man who died. Their names have not been released, but if you have any information about this incident, call Crime Stoppers at 1-800-577-TIPS. Reporting live in the Throgs Neck section of the Bronx, Darla Miles, Channel 7 Eyewitness News.
Gang violence and other kind of violence.
So it is what it is.